The positive impacts of LPG policies in India. So, the LPG policies have been making a good amount of positive impact and they have helped in increasing the productivity in many sectors of the economy. So, let us understand them by the various points. Number one, high growth rate. With the introduction of the reform policies, that is the LPG policies, the productivity and growth of all the sectors as a whole has increased. Before the pre-reform period, Indian economy experienced an annual average growth rate of 4%. But since 1991, that is after the introduction of the reform, the rate of economic growth got accelerated at a great extent. And the growth was not at all constrained in one single US sector, but it was spread over all the sectors such as agriculture, industry, services, etc. With this, the overall GDP in the country has also seen a very good amount of rise. Number two, consumer sovereignty. So, with the introduction of the LPG policies, the Indian consumers are benefited because they now have a large variety of goods and services to be chosen from. As with liberalization, the world is liberated with the world economy, and also with globalization, there has been the exchange of goods and services with the different countries of the world. As a result, there has been a number of varieties of goods and services, both domestic and foreign, to choose from, which has increased the sovereignty of the consumer and they have benefited. Consequently, the overall level of household expenditure has also increased. Number three, increase in foreign direct investment. With the introduction of the policy of globalization, privatization, and liberalization, there has been an inflow of foreign capital in the form of FDI. The FDI alone has increased from US $100 million in 1991 to US 37746 million in the 2009 and 10s. So this has increased our investment policies, and also with the new investment has come new demand. This helped in increasing the competition in the domestic market, as with the increase in foreign direct investment, the entry of MNC has been promoted. Number four, increase in the share of the private sector. So since 1991, there has been deregulation of the sectors of the private sector, that is, and they have been playing a very dominant role. The share of private sector has increased in all the areas like banking and finance, transport, communication, hotel and tourism, electronics, etc. Number 5, check on inflation. With the introduction of the economic reforms, the price level has been able to be kept under a certain ceiling. Inflation remained consistent at about 5% for quite some time, which in 1991 was at a high rate of 12%. And lastly, number 6, reduction in fiscal deficit. So fiscal deficit is the difference which occurs when there is more amount of imports than the exports. So with the introduction of economic reforms, fiscal deficit has also come down. In 1991, fiscal deficit was 8.5%, but now it has come around to 4.8 in the year 2010-11. So overall, if we see that there has been a quite good number of positive impacts due to the evaluation of the or we can say introduction of the LPG policies.